Alright, so now need to bridge our neutral inhibitor switch, which is actually very easy to do. It's like about 4 ways I can think of the top of my head to do it. All of them are consisting of the same thing. All you're doing is connecting one terminal to the other terminal, bridging the electricity through these two terminals, which is what the neutral inhibitor switch does. When it's in the right position, the current can flow through the wires, which allows the motor to start. So basically what it's doing is your motor can't start in first gear, second gear in automatic. It has to be in park or neutral. If it's not in park or neutral and you can start your automatic car in like drive, for example, your neutral inhibitor switch, I wouldn't say it's broken. I feel like it's more been cut out and bridged across. It could be broken in some way. That's a weird way. Normally it doesn't break like that, you know what I mean? If it breaks, the car just won't start at all, because otherwise it defeats the purpose of what your neutral inhibitor switch breaks and now your car starts all the time. It doesn't work like that. So anyway, what we got to do, so the best way to do this, I don't like, you have to ruin a gearbox to kind of do it, or just like a wiring loom, so it's up to you. I'm going to do it with the spade connectors, but basically the best way you can do it is you get your automatic gearbox, you get the loom from the gearbox that plugs into the neutral inhibitor, you cut the loom off the gearbox, and then you solder those two wires of the end together, and then you can just clip them in, and you got a bridging clip, plug in and out, so you don't rewire anything. The other way, people cut up their wiring loom and they'll bridge two wires in the wiring loom together, so it's like hardwired, permanently hardwired into the loom. Now the way I'm going to do it is make a temporary solution slash fix, like a temporary could be permanent, this can stay forever, and when you want to turn it to automatic, you just pull them out, put your automatic shit back in. If you want to do that, I don't know why you'd want to change it from manual back to auto, but if someone wanted to, they could. And we're not damaging any auto gearbox, so we still got automatic gearbox and all the loom, which is worth money, because someone will want to buy it eventually one day. So we're going to keep all that intact without cutting the loom. This is my way to bridge the neutral inhibitor very easily. So we got two spade connectors which fit onto our neutral inhibitor plug. So now we're going to need to find some wire that goes in there and crimps. Alright, so we've got a bit of wire. Now the trick with this, it's not really a trick, but it's just like how electricity works. So basically, because this is having electric current running through the wire, and it's like a pretty high amp of current, so that means you need to have a bit of a thicker wire, because it like will burn out. So the trick is, like, if your wire's not as thick, or like etc., like if you don't have a super thick wire or whatever you're doing it with, the shorter the wire the better, because that's the less the electricity is running through this wire. So if the wire is heaps long and it's real skinny and you're like bridging your neutral inhibitor switch, like I think that's all that electricity is heating up that little tiny skinny wire. It's not good for it. So like the trick I'm doing is the shorter the wire the better, because then it's like gets it over and done with. The electricity is in and out. It's not going to store much in there, so it shouldn't heat up too much. So like it'll get hot because there's less there to heat up, so it can get hot quicker, but it's like thicker wire and there's going to be less of it. Alright, so we got our two spade connectors, we got a little bit of wire, so we're going to strip the ends. Got the wire snips. strip the wire. Got our wire stripped up. What I'm gonna do, just to be fancy, I'm gonna cut up a bit of heat shrink. Just to put it on there, doesn't hurt. Alright, so we got a bit of heat shrink. Chuck the heat shrink on the wire. So now we feed this into our spade. Got that up in our spade. Then we got to crimp it. Pretty sure that should be crimped. Seems like it's stuck in there pretty good. So we got that done. Then we just need to feed the other end of our wire in. Now this one's a little bit long, so we'll take a bit off. It'd be cool if like the heat shrink was a bit longer. Actually, that's my fault. I think I might cut a bit longer bit of heat shrink to try and make it nice. Got some longer heat shrink on there. Crimp the wire. And then we got the bridging terminal. How easy was fucking that, eh? So we get a lighter on the heat shrink. We've got our little bridging terminal. Get the heat shrink on it. Look at that. Shrinked up, eh? So we got a little bridge in terms. Man. So this is our bridging terminal, and basically we click this in one side of the neutral inhibitor and click it in the other, and the car's just gonna start. So this is your neutral inhibitor switch. So if you wanted, you just cut those two wires, cut off this plug, and you just solder those two wires together, and you can literally just plug the plug in and your car will start. But that's the same as just making this. The other way is you cut your loom like this, and you just bridge the wires together. That's how this guy's done it, but I'm gonna do it with this. Alright, so we got this here. You get one end and plug one end in, get the other end and plug this end in. See, so it's plugged in. We bridged it. Just like that. So we can just like leave that up around there. Good little fucking bridge there. Alright, so now the car just starts. Never tried to start it without it, but obviously it wouldn't have started. That's probably why you're watching this video. Guess we'll give it a fucking crack, eh? I'm scared, I'm nervous. I'm fucking nervous right now, holy fuck. I'm gonna sit in the car for this moment of truth. Oh my god, oh my god. It's about to happen. It's almost manual. I need to take a moment. 5, 4, 3, I'm getting nervous, moment of truth. 2, 1, 0. I think the car's manual. It starts. Alright. I believe the gearbox needs more oil as a start, and the pedal needs more travel. So we're going to adjust them things, see what happens. Alright, so we got the car started. Now the gearbox is making some weird sounds. Now the car's on a little bit of an angle, so it's hard to fill up the gearbox oil because it kind of runs out, makes it look like it's full. So I don't really feel like fucking putting oil in from underneath the car, and I know there's 800 mils. I've put 800 mils of this gearbox oil in the car, so I personally believe there should be more than 800 mils in there, as I've filled up boxes with like 1.5 litres, 2 litres of oil before. So luckily we got these books right here, specifications 105 manual trans. So look, I still haven't found this book, I don't think, to be useful yet. I think I got it 1 Newton-meter specification. It didn't even matter. Got 2 books, I haven't even fucking got anything out of any of them yet. Anyway, alright, so hopefully it should tell us how much oil is meant to go in the gearbox. You know, manual transmission specifications. Model 3/4 gear and a float. Telling our gear ratios. Snap rings. Newton-meters. Transmission difficult gear change. Gear clash. Sounds like it's telling me how to change the fucking slipping out of gear, transmission noise, gear problems. Transmission assembly to remove and install. Dismantle. I already know how to do this. I just want to know how much fucking oil is in the car. So this is how the gearbox is made. There's all the fucking parts inside a gearbox. Anyway, just gonna find out how much oil we need to put in the fucking gearbox. Not how to build it. Okay, it did not say anything about how much oil should be in the gearbox. It just told me how to rebuild the whole gearbox. Doesn't say anything about any fluid levels. So maybe in lubrication and maintenance it might tell me how much oil. Manual transmission. Oh wow, look at this. Manual transmission, lubricant, valvoline. Using valvo. Man. Capacity 2 liters. How much we got in there? 800 mils. Makes sense, doesn't it? So we're gonna fill up the gearbox. I don't feel like laying under the car. So this is how we do it. The easy way when you know how much oil goes in your gearbox. Alright, so we're back in the car. What we're gonna do is remove our shifter, which is quite the thing to try and film. It's super hot in here. So we have our shifter out. I'm going to try and put the gearbox oil in from the top of the gearbox. I'm not laying on the ground under it, which is annoying. So I'm just going to fill the gearbox from inside the car. So we're filling up our gearbox from inside the car, making things a lot easier. Now, this is safe to do as long as you know how much oil is going in your box and how much oil is already in there, which I don't actually know how much oil is in there. I just know the more the merrier. I've just pumped 1.5 litres, like total gearbox oil into my gearbox, including yesterday. So there's meant to be 2 litres, but I feel like there's some residual oil in the box because I never took out any drain plugs. But I know there isn't, too much oil in there. for it to be to be noticeable. Like, I feel like there would have been residual 500 mils or something in the box, close to it. So if we're fucking close to our the amount we're meant to have, it's gonna work. Like if we had a residual 300 mils instead of 5, well that's 1800 mils out of 2 liters, so it's fucking close. Like it's just like we got low level. You know, I reckon it's pretty close. We put 1.5 liters in. We'll see if we can change gears and shit now. Better get some more travel on the pedal and the car can be driven. Now clip this fucking circlip in. It's real hard to film in a sweaty hot car, so I'm gonna do that off camera. The gearbox already feels much better. Sweet. I'm dripping in sweat and it's fucked. Alright, so we're under the car. Where the pedal is. We need to give the pedal more play. So basically this thing up here has to screw onto its rod some more. Which changes the engagement point of the pedal. Now I'm gonna adjust that now. Alright, so the pedal should be adjusted now. Alright, well, everything's here. Seems to be on the gears better. I think the manual pedal might need bled a bit better because I did it with the 1-man bleeder. But that's just how it is. Well, try start her up. What I'll do is I'll get the camera and I'll try film the slave cylinder and the fork to see if when I push the pedal it does anything. That's where the camera comes in handy, so I can actually see if the pedal's working. Alright, so there's the slave and fork. Don't have any luck. It'll move.
check the video if you can even see that.
So the gearbox was making some weird squealing noise, but now I've put the extra oil in, so it's got like 1.5 litres, 1.6 litres of oil plus whatever was left in there, a bit of rainwater, a bit of residual oil. I reckon it should have to be pretty close to at least 1.8 litres out of the 2 litres of oil. If not, it's got at least 2 litres of something in there, maybe more. I think I might put like another 100-200 mils of fucking oil in there, so I know it's got at least 1800 mils of oil in it, which is like pretty close like to being 2 litres. 200 mils shouldn't like hurt it too much either side. So we're gonna do that, put a tiny dribble in, and we're gonna try and bleed the clutch because the clutch isn't really like doing its thing. But other than that, the car seems to be working and shit. It's got a flat battery now, so I've got to jump start it. But the gearbox is linking up the back wheels. I just need to work out the clutch so I can change gears. I gave it extra travel on the pedal, so it's engaging from the start. So it hasn't got much free play in it, I don't think. Needs to be bled more, I guess. Should be right. Put the extra 200 mils of oil in the gearbox, and it feels so nice now. I know I've at least put 1700 mils, could be about 1800 mils, roughly around 1700-1800 mils of oil. It's meant to have 2 litres of oil. That's pretty close, but I don't want to put too much because I feel like there'll be residual oil in the box. Like 200 mils shy shouldn't hurt it too much, so like I think we'll just leave it short a bit, and I'm just going to do a gearbox oil change like very soon, like drain the whole box properly and refill it with 2 litres specific, like all on the dot to the specifics, and then like this oil that's in it will just kind of wash out the box. I might try and drive it around for a week, and then like we're going to put new box oil in it. So it's all, and some smooth shift and stuff like that. So now I'm just going to try and bleed the clutch to try and see if I can get some more pressure in it, to see if we can make it work a bit more. Then we should be able to drive the car.
Alright. Move it. Caleb's got his foot all the way down the clutch. I'm going to try and crack it a bit. Whoa. Alright. That was definitely bled. What happens if you try and slowly pump the clutch? Yeah. Go again. Definitely working. Yeah. We'll try bleed it again. Alright, so hold your foot all the way down. Yeah. Keep it there. Alright, now slowly pump it again. Now hold it all the way down. Now you can pump it again. Has it changed at all?
It feels that right at the end bit a little bit stronger.
So when he puts his foot on the clutch, the firewall's moving a bit. So that's a bit gay.
It's off now. It's on now.
Switch, that's the light switch. Is that on?
It's on now. It was as well.
Alright. We're gonna try see if we can get into gear with the clutch and shit while it's running. Might let the gearbox oil heat up a bit, that might help it. The box is making a weird sound. It was doing this, but it went away last time. So I might put another like couple hundred mils of oil in it. Because then I have put 2 litres in, which is what it's meant to have in it. But then again, that could be the idle's just up heaps and it went away, so it's just... So the box has some weird rattle in it. Old rattle box is still going. Both our pedals are on the floor, that's like not good. Yeah, that is not going into any gears. So now, the car's charged up a bit. Yeah, and that's start making some new sound. I can hear the clutch working. At least trying to. Alright, so now turn the motor off. I'm gonna try and put it in a gear. Alright, now I can get into fifth.
I'll see if I can spin the wheel.
Yeah, so now it's in first. Alright, ready? Are the wheels spinning?
Yeah, bro. Both wheels.
That means the clutch isn't working.
Is the pedal down?
So the car's pretty much working. The clutch is just like not disengaging properly. So we'll get there. So I don't know, we might have to try and bench bleed the slave or work it out. I would rattle box over here.